Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, all is well. Just trying to get one last thing done here. Noah, what's going on, brother? How we doing, man? Hopefully, all is well on your side of the world, your side of Facebook land. Make sure I got everything where I needed to be. Okay, 7:03, Tuesday, November 24th. All right. Good evening, good people. For those of you who are watching live, hello. For those of you who are catching the recording, welcome. Um, this is the very first edition, very first episode of 203K Tuesday. All right. I am your host, Aaron, the house person, and I am the program director of the 203K Done Your Way program, where we economically rehabilitate the community one house at a time. And we do that by educating you about the 203K process, right? Showing you the benefits of it, and then holding your hand, if you would like for us to do so, holding your hand and then walking you through the entire process, right? Not process, right? The process, right? But walking you through that entire process from start to finish and helping you to realize your dream, right? Helping you to create a semi-custom designed home. That's what we do. 203K Tuesdays. This show is going to be about the 203K loan, point blank period. We're going to show you, again, the benefits of it. And we're just going to be talking about how you can navigate the process. We're going to be interviewing a lot of the top people in the industry, not just locally. I am in the DC metropolitan area, but not just locally, across the country, the ones who are out here helping folks create the dream home of their choice, right? Finding that home and then creating that dream home, that semi custom design, that open kitchen, that open concept. When you turn the doorknob, look in, and you just see to the back of the house, all the way out to the deck, whatever the situation may be. That's what we're here to do. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over some case studies, and just give you guys a real in-depth look at what the 203K process is from start to finish. Okay. Um, I'm real excited about it. And how I got here today, again, my name is Aaron Person, also known as the House Person. It started back in 2003. I went to a nonprofit organization who shall remain nameless because my mother said, if you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say it at all, right? So went to this organization and attended their first time home buying course. It was an all day Saturday training. And the next step was to actually go meet with the counselor. Great. I'm excited. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, right? I'm thinking I'm about to be one step closer to owning a home. This is exactly what I was looking for. Again, this is back in 2003, summer of 2003. So, have my meeting with the counselor. Get down there. She takes a look at all my paperwork, kind of shuffles it around, look a little bit. And then she looks up at me and she says, Mr. Person, you know you don't make enough money to buy a house in this area. Come back when you get a raise. Had to, talking to me? You talking to me? Yeah, she was talking to me, right? Uh, Needless to say, when I left there, I thought I'd be leaving one step closer to owning a home, but that was not the case. I actually left there with my hat in my hand, you know what I mean, my tail between my legs and my head held down low, because I was not one step closer to owning a home. Um, I did not leave with any type of solutions. I left with pure sadness, left with confusion, left with a lot of questions actually. Um, Hindsight being 2020, if I would have gotten a second opinion, I actually could have bought a home at that time. Maybe not the most expensive home in the area, but I actually could have bought a home. Fast forward to the summer of 2004, and actually before I go that far, March of 2004, I actually was licensed, passed the real estate test. That's when I got my license in March of 2004. Summer of 2004, I'm in the DC metropolitan area. I am in Prince George's County, which is one of the counties that directly borders Washington, DC. And in this county, every year in June, which is National Home Ownership Month, we have a home buyer fair. It's a big thing. It's at what's called the Sports and Learning Complex. And in this fair, you get to meet a lot of different industry experts, and just learn everything there is to know about buying a home. So me being a new realtor, I figured, hey, what better place to be than in the home buying fair, learning, well, not necessarily learning, excuse me, looking to see if I can pick up somebody who is trying to purchase a home, right? It's been a little bit of an opportunity, so, it is what it is. But in this fair, I actually was introduced to another nonprofit agency, and I liked what I heard. I liked what I saw. And in spite of my previous experience the year before with that other company who shall remain nameless, I ended up giving these guys a shot, right? I ended up going to their class to see what they had to offer. And again, remember, I just got my license in March. Passed the test in February, got my license in March. But so, I'm like, let's see what they had to offer. Let's see what's going on, right? In there, at the time, it was myself and my fiance at the time, and I'm in class, man. When I tell you, I'm in there taking more notes than most of the other people in class. I mean, it seemed like to me, I don't know, but I know I took a ton of notes. And what I learned right then and there is, although I did just have my license, I really didn't know that much about the process, right? I knew law. I knew how to keep myself out of trouble, keep my clients out of trouble, right? I learned all that stuff, the things you can't do, the things you shouldn't do, right? Things that'll get you in jail. Learned all that stuff, but didn't necessarily learn the entire process from start to finish. So like I said, I was in there taking notes, man. It was a really great experience. I love my time there, to the point where I actually asked them if I could come back and help in any capacity. And I ended up being one of the realtors in rotation teaching the home buying portion, or the realtor portion of their home buying course. It was a really good experience. I was there with them for a while. Um, Ended up working with a couple of other nonprofits, larger ones in the DC metropolitan area, teaching the realtor portion of that course as well. And then ultimately, I ended up stepping out on my own and creating a home buying seminar that we helped a lot of people. We had a lot of folks who came out to see and hear what we had to offer, and a lot of folks were extremely satisfied with the information they received and went on to purchase a home. So that is kind of my background as far as like education. And you know most of my career I primarily worked with buyers, and reason I did that is because of how I entered into the home buying space with that heartbreak, right? So that heartbreak was bad for me, but it ended up being good for you guys and all my past clients because, or really people who I just run across in general, because I'm all about giving that information. I'm all about who I can help. I'm all about passing the information to the next person because I feel if you have that information, you can make a better decision. We only can make decisions based off the information we do and don't have. So if you're missing something very critical to whatever process you're going through, going to, whatever, right? That could make a huge difference in the end results. I think you'd agree that knowing more, or what's the old saying, right? Better to have and not need than to need and not have, right? So if you're making decisions off of partial information, it's kind of hard to make a really good decision. So uh, primarily work with buyers by choice, specifically first-time home buyers, and really enjoy educating, like really just making sure that people understand what their options are, because it's all about options, right? You ever had your car break down? This is just a side note, but you ever had your car break down and it's sitting in the driveway and you don't have the ends that you need to go ahead and get it fixed, right? Sometimes you're like, man, you're talking about the car, right? You're just upset about the car. You're upset about the fact that you can't drive, and you get the car fixed and don't go anywhere. What was all that fussing about? The option. You just want to have that option. I want to be able to walk out the house and go when I want to go, not walk out the house and see the car sitting right there and can't go when I want to go or how I want to go, right? So just about having those options, providing my clients with those options. Fast forward a little more, and an event happened in 2008. The bubble burst, right? The real estate market bottom fell out. All bad. Doom and gloom everywhere, right? Fire and brimstone. Maybe not that bad. Sorry. Pardon. Not that bad. But it was for some people. A lot of people lost their houses. The overall economy in the United States tanked. The economy throughout the world also tanked. And it was at that point I personally realized how much real estate matters to the overall economy, the the flow, right? The ebb and flow of finances and money. Real estate really does keep this country afloat. And what do I mean by that? Think about it. What is real estate? Real estate is the house that you live in. Real estate is that apartment building that you live in. Real estate is the schoolhouse that you send your kids to or that you went to, right? Real estate is the church that you worship in, the mosque that you worship in, the synagogue that you worship in, right? Real estate is the park that you take your kids to. Real estate is the farmland where your food grows. All of that is real estate. Real estate is the road that you drive on. All of that is real estate, right? All of that is real estate. And guess what? How many people support something involved with those things that I just mentioned? You got your truck drivers. I got this lighting. You got the people who make the lights in the houses, right? You got the people who mine for the equipment, mine for the materials to make the light. You got the ones who package the light. You got the ones who put the light on the truck. You got the ones who transport the lights. You got the ones who, you know what I mean? And that's just lights. Like real estate touches so many different markets. That's what I learned when the economy crashed. Another thing I learned is that when you have a bad economy, real estate market, or real estate houses just being foreclosed on left and right, it's extreme detriment to your neighborhood, right? It brings down the property value. It hurts everyone involved. So if you have an empty house to your right, to your left, that means that house is not producing property tax for your municipality, right? It's not producing money for your county. for your city. And when you don't have that money, that means the budget is coming up short. That means there's something that the county cannot pay like they would like to pay or at all, right? That means some teachers can't get hired. That means some roads can't be repaired. That means they can't hire new police officers, new firefighters, new medical technicians, paramedics. They don't have the funds. So I learned that the overall economy is just really tied to real estate, putting people in real estate, helping people buy houses, helping people sell houses. And when you have a lot of dilapidated property on the market, again, it hurts everyone. So again, being with buyers, being someone who specialized in working with buyers, what could I do to help my clients when we're out here competing, because the market started to heat up, right? 2008, the market went down, um, stayed down for a little bit. The government did what they could in order to, spur growth, spur people, encourage them to get out and buy. And then people started buying. Slowly but surely, things started to turn around. Some markets were not as affected as others, such as DC, because we have the federal government and all the contractor jobs that spur from it. We were not as affected as most people around the country were. But ultimately, just like I said before, the market goes in cycles, right? You have flat markets, you have up markets, you have down markets. So ultimately, the market is going to go back up. It's just a matter of when. And the market did start to go back up. So in 2018, again, working with my buyers, as the market started going back up, it was a lot of competition for turnkey property, AKA move-in ready. You put the key in the lock, you turn it, you move in, right? Everybody wants a turnkey property, understandably so. Everybody wants that property. So when everybody wants something, that means it's going to cost you more because you have demand, supply and demand. Low supply of turnkey property, high demand of turnkey property means turnkey property prices are going to continue to rise, right? So me trying to be the best agent I could be, look for places, look for sources, look for resources, look for things where I can put my clients in the best position, right? How can I put them in this place where they're not competing with as many people, right? How can I put them somewhere where they have the best chance of getting that property? And basically, I thought about the 203K loan. Now, I had previously done some research on it and found out that not too many people knew about it. And when I say not too many people, I mean not too many people, right? I'm asking agents who have been in the business for many years their advice, like, hey, what can you tell me about the 203K loan? What do you know? And most of them said, stay away from it. I don't know anything about it, right? It was not too many good answers at all. And so that made me start doing some research. And I learned a little bit about it, but I kind of set it on the shelf, only to pick it up later in 2018. It was 10 years after the crash, and I was just taking a look at everything going on, looking at how much things had progressed as far as home prices. Again, looking at how the market was getting a lot tighter as far as the DC metropolitan area and highly competitive. To date, we have been in a seller's market in certain price points because it does vary, but for the most part, that first-time home buyer price range of 325, 350 or less, we have been in a seller's market in that price range at least 5 to 6 years, right? In 2008, after just growing increasingly frustrated rather with the market and my clients just being outbid on particular properties, again, I'll just look for other resources. And again, 203K popped back up. I really dove in a lot deeper then and started to research. I took classes I could find anywhere. And you can find a lot of information out here. Trust and believe. There's a lot of information on YouTube University, right? The unfortunate part is some of that stuff may not be true. Some of it might not be accurate. Some of it may be dated. And you really don't know. That's the biggest issue. You really don't know. So I decided at that point that I needed to do something to try to get the word out, right? So I came up with an ebook. This is the actual one of the few that I actually had printed up, but it's called Real Estate of the Union. Where we've been, where we are, and where we're going, right? It was basically talking about how things have progressed from 2008 to 2018 and what I saw as far as the future of the market and the options available for those who are interested in purchasing a home, right? Um, and I really just wanted to make sure people again knew what their options are. And this 203K loan is a very viable option. So that is kind of my background. That is what this show is going to be about. That is why I feel that I'm able to present to you guys this information because I've done a good amount of research. I've kind of sifted through all the mess for you guys in order to be able to package and streamline quality information straight to you guys. All right. I want to make sure that if this is something you're interested in, you have that guide you're looking for. You have a place to go get the information that you need when you need it. Okay. So 203K Tuesdays, we are going to be talking about everything 203K, point blank period, right? We're going to be talking about how you can use this loan to better yourself, right? How you can use this loan to put yourself in a position where you are a blessing to your family, right? Um, and that can be your direct family in your household. That can be your extended family. We are basically going to tell you everything that you don't know about the 203K loan. And we're going to do that by bringing on industry experts, again, across the country, interviewing them and just getting their perspective about what's going on in the market. For instance, right now, a lot of lenders have discontinued the 203K loan. Well, maybe not discontinued, but they've paused it for the moment, right? They've decided that the market is, and not the market as far as real estate, but just the financial market is just too topsy-turvy with people not paying rents and things of that nature for them to travel down something considered a little riskier. But there are still lenders doing it, and knowing who those people are very important, is very important. Knowing how to reach those people is very important, right? And that is what you're going to get here. You're going to get the A to Z of 203K. So let me just share my screen real quick, show you guys something. What I like to do is get my information, as they say, from the horse's mouth, right? Again, I've sifted through hours and hours of 203K information from various resources in order to bring you guys quality content, and that's it, right? So that way you don't have to worry about any fussing, any mess, anything like that. So 203K is the actual section of the housing handbook, the HUD housing handbook, where you'll find the information associated with purchasing. So here is a couple of things that people ask about. So eligible homes for 203K. You may use a 203K loan to finance the rehabilitation of the following types of properties: cooperative units and investment properties are not eligible, but we can talk about that. There's what we call a house hack. regarding investment properties, but we'll talk about that. It's not an investment property, but we'll talk about that. But number one, a 1 to 4 unit residence that has been completed for at least 1 year. Examples include detached homes and townhouses. 1 to 4 unit. So you are a first time home buyer. Maybe you aren't. You are a repeat home buyer. It doesn't matter. Either way, you can purchase a 1, 2, 3, or a 4 unit, up to a 4 unit, and still be considered residential property. It's amazing. So what does that mean, Aaron? What that means is you can buy a 4 unit property that has tenants in the property. 1 vacant unit, you stay in that unit. By law, you have to stay in the unit for 12 months, so 1 year, right? But during this time period, you have 3 units that are sending you rent every month. Sending you rent every month. If things are set up properly, 1, 2, if necessary, 3, but 1 or 2 of those units will pay for the entire building. What does that mean, Aaron? That means the mortgage is paid for by 2 units. 1 unit is sending money directly into your pocket, which is called cash flow, right? 1 unit you're living in, but if you're somewhere where you're paying rent for $1,800, $2,000, $2,500, whatever you're paying in rent, you go move to that property. Now you're saving that. So let's say the vacant unit, or not the vacant unit, but the 1 unit that's providing you cash flow is providing you with $1,000 a month cash flow. And let's say where you live, you're paying $1,500 a month. Now you're no longer paying that $1,500. Add that on to the $1,000 you're getting in cash flow. You just netted yourself $2,500 per month. You're living rent-free. You're living mortgage-free. That's just number one. Number two, condominium, 1 to 4 unit dwellings. Interior improvements only. Additional restrictions apply. So if you're in a condo building, right? It's a condo, 4 unit condo building. You can renovate the interior of the condo unit. You cannot renovate the exterior because that is considered shared space, but we'll talk about that. Number 3, mixed use residential properties that include commercial space. Wow. Wait a minute. Aaron, are you telling me that I can buy property that has commercial space? Yes, that is what Aaron is telling you. You can buy property that has commercial space. So what does that mean? So properties that have the little storefront, then have the apartments upstairs. You can buy that. You can buy that. You can live in 1 unit, have a storefront downstairs. Maybe you're running the store. Maybe you have a tenant running the store and they're paying you money. You can do that. So these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about every Tuesday on 203K Tuesday. We're going to be breaking down the 203K loan into small, manageable bites, right? How do you eat an elephant? Small bites, 1 bite at a time. All right. So that is what I have for you guys today. It was pretty much just an introductory situation where I get a chance to introduce myself, introduce the program, introduce the backstory, how I got here, and how you guys are going to be able to benefit from this. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at info, I-N-F-O, at 203kdoneyourway.com. That's info at 203kdoneyourway.com. The number is 844-YES, 203K, 844-YES, 203K. I will be accepting any questions that you guys have. So if you have any questions, just put question in the subject line, right? And let me know what your question is. I will get it answered next week at 7 o'clock, 203K Tuesday. Signing out. Aaron Person, your host. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.